What the hell is that?
Shuttle to Dirian. What is your cargo and destination?
Parts and technical crew for the Forest Moon.
Refreshing.
It's an older code, sir, but it checks out. I was about to clear them.
That is strength, boy. That is power.
Hello everyone, this is 17 Stages of Story, and you're watching the hero's journey breakdown for Return of the Jedi. Return of the Jedi is often regarded as the weakest link in the trilogy, but I'm not here to decide if the Ewoks are lame or Han and Leia have enough to do, or if bringing back the Death Star was the right call. I'll be focusing almost exclusively on what I call the Golden Path. I'll be looking for that root note, the dominant stage of the hero's journey at any given time. As always, the purpose of these breakdowns is not to explain what the hero's journey is. If it's an introduction you're after, you'll want to check out What is the Hero's Journey, which is linked in the description below. With all that in mind, let's dive in. Our story begins with an update on the Galactic Civil War. The Empire is building a second, more powerful Death Star. This is our new ordinary world. We're off to a conventional start, but we're about to skip several stages. Bang! We jump to R2 and 3PO on the road to Jabba's palace. And they are about to kick off a long crossing the first threshold sequence. But before we press on, let's talk about the missing stages for a second. The model I'm using puts the call to adventure all the way back in the end of The Empire Strikes Back.
When we find Jabba the Hutt and that bounty hunter, we'll contact you.
I'll meet you at the rendezvous point on Tatooine.
It's deliberately set up as a cliffhanger. But refusal of the call and supernatural aid are just straight up missing. We get one oblique reference to what became of Lando and Chewie, but not enough to put anything on the Golden Path.
Lando Calrissian and poor Chewbacca never returned from this awful place.
We do get a fun little nod to refusal of the call and supernatural aid from 3PO.
There doesn't seem to be anyone here. Let's go back and tell Master Luke.
But these won't go on the Golden Path either because they're specific to the droids. That's Threshold Guardian number 1. Here's number 2. And finally, number 3. They're eventually brought into Jabba's throne room, where Luke throws them under the bus. They're taken to Jabba's droid garage, calling back their Belly of the Whale experience in the Jawa Sandcrawler. But all this is still specific to the droids. Our next arrival is Princess Leia, disguised as a bounty hunter, with Chewbacca in tow. It's a nice touch that she too has to deal with a Threshold Guardian. Right there. She fools everyone, or appears to, and gains access to Jabba's palace. Her threshold crossing is complete. She doesn't have a Belly of the Whale moment, but she does get a nice little micro-arc. Road of Trials, meeting with the goddess, woman is the temptress,
A pave trip. You're throwing away a fortune here. Don't be a fool.
and atonement with the father. And Leia is done. Finally, we're reintroduced to Luke Skywalker for the climax of the first threshold sequence. He makes a play for what he's after, but he's jumped the gun, and Jabba drops him down into the Rancor pit. The Belly of the Whale sequence begins. Uh-oh, now I've done it. It looks like I've been chosen to be the 89 millionth contestant on everyone's favorite Star Wars game show. What the fuck was Luke's plan? I really tried to avoid pinning this breakdown to any particular theory, including what Luke knows or intends to happen. Some camps argue that everything happens according to Luke's design. Other factions say that they went in with a series of backup plans and just hoped for the best. For the purposes of this breakdown, almost none of this matters. The only claim I'll make is that whether Luke knows about the Rancor or intends to kill it, he's both surprised and afraid when he sees it for the first time. And that fear persists until the end of the scene. In fact, it's the only time he's afraid during the entire rescue sequence. He walks in like he owns the place, and after the Rancor, goes right back to being calm, cool, and collected. So what's going on down here? Well, Luke is symbolically devoured by a beast whose name means spite, malice, and hatred. I've seen people ask why he throws a skull to trigger the door instead of just using the Force, and the hero's journey would say, because it's symbolically correct. Remember, Belly of the Whale is about death and rebirth. He emerges from the ordeal literally unscathed, but I don't think we reach the end of the Belly of the Whale sequence until Luke takes his symbolic leap into the Sarlacc pit. I really like this moment because Luke has spent 2 movies being chewed up and spit out, and he's finally had enough. It's like a baptism. A Jedi apprentice goes down, a Jedi Knight comes back up. And this is where I think the Road of Trials begins. Luke goes to work with everyone in his crew following his lead. They rescue Han without casualty and salt the earth behind them. This kicks off Luke's meeting with the goddess. The literal object of Luke's efforts was Han's rescue, which is achieved, but the movie does a great job of linking this side quest directly to his pursuit of the ultimate boon, becoming a Jedi.
I am Luke Skywalker, Jedi Knight and friend to Captain Solo.
A Jedi Knight?
So, to rescue Han is to prove that Luke has earned the title of Jedi Knight. And this is perfect because that's where we're at with Luke's journey at the trilogy level. In Empire, he went from Belly of the Whale all the way through Apotheosis. This stage is his play for the ultimate boon. So, after rescuing Han, Luke finally goes back to Dagobah to complete his training, only to be told,
"No more training do you require. Already know you, that which you need."
Then I am a Jedi.
But his reward comes with a complication.
Not yet. One thing remains. Vader. You must confront Vader. Then, only then, a Jedi will you be.
Perfect. Meeting with the goddess becomes Woman as the Temptress. Now, this happens relatively early, just about 41 minutes into a 128-minute movie. This leaves a lot of runtime left for the remaining steps, and it makes the pacing of the movie feel a little lopsided. At the trilogy level, the boon of becoming a Jedi has been deferred on a technicality. This means that Luke's side quest on Endor is his refusal of the return. So let's talk about the Endor operation. In a way, the story starts over for everyone. Now, just to be clear, on the Golden Path, we're still in the Temptress stage, but there's a nice little micro journey within that stage, and we're going to blitz through it. Here we go. It starts, of course, with a new call to adventure.
The Emperor's made a critical error and the time for our attack has come.
It's followed by a little refusal and aid.
Yeah, I just got a funny feeling, like I'm not gonna see her again.
Come on, General. Let's move.
It's not much, but it's there. Then there's a double whammy first threshold. One up in space.
I'm endangering the mission. I shouldn't have come.
And the second on the planet's surface. Separated by the speeder bike chase, Leia has a Belly of the Whale moment, adapting to the new rules of the extraordinary world when she meets Wicket. Han and Luke then assign themselves a new goal, finding Leia, and start working toward it. Their brief road of trials ends in failure. That's the outcome of their effort, their meeting with the goddess. Han tries to dig out of the hole they're in, but he only makes things worse. Textbook Woman as the Temptress.
My mistake.
And finally, the micro journey falls back into sync with Han and Leia's Golden Path, but not Luke's, when the Ewoks threaten to cook and eat Han. That's their atonement with the Father. While we're on the subject, you might have noticed that I haven't been tracking Han and Leia's Golden Path on screen like I did for Empire. That's largely because there's a lot less going on with Han and Leia as characters in this chapter, but it's still structurally interesting and worth mentioning. So let's stick with Han and Leia for just a little bit longer. Their seemingly final defeat is overcome with what? A little divine intervention. So that's Apotheosis covered. But that's just the setup. It's 3PO who convinces the Ewoks that they've been playing the wrong game.
Wonderful. We are now a part of the tribe.
Back on the Golden Path, Luke's path, he's just been hanging around in his Woman as the Temptress stage for about 40 minutes. So if you feel like this part of the movie drags, even though a lot is happening, maybe that's why. Anyway, Luke senses Darth Vader's presence and decides it's best for him to leave. He surrenders and immediately tries to flip Vader.
Come with me.
It is too late for me, son.
And just look how surprised Luke is that this doesn't work. This is the beginning of Luke's atonement with the Father. At the trilogy level, this also marks the beginning of the Magic Flight, the final confrontation with Vader, the dark side of the Force, and the Empire. Meanwhile, Han and Leia are right on track, entering their ultimate boon sequence when they infiltrate the bunker that controls the Death Star's shield generator. Up on the Death Star, Luke's atonement continues when the Emperor reveals that he's orchestrated everything that's happened.
Perhaps you referred to the imminent attack on your rebel fleet. Yes.
We get some foreshadowing of the apotheosis to come, but I don't think we're there quite yet.
I'm looking forward to completing your training.
Back on Endor, Han and Leia think they've captured the bunker only to be captured themselves. Their refusal of the return begins. And with the shields still up, the rebel fleet finds itself caught between the Death Star and what appears to be the entire Imperial Navy.
It's a trap!
Luke's atonement and apotheosis blend together here, with the dominant stage slowly shifting.
From here, you will witness the final destruction of the Alliance and the end of your insignificant rebellion.
The Emperor just hammers away at Luke with proof of his failure, while reminding him there's another game he could play.
Take your Jedi weapon. Use it. I am unarmed. Strike me down with it. Give in to your anger.
It's a lot like Empire Strikes Back, where an agent of the dark side intentionally plants and reinforces the idea that Luke has been playing the wrong game. Once again, he's tempted to abandon the Jedi way in favor of something more immediately satisfying. There are a couple of valid ways you could slice this on the Golden Path, but I'm going to call this the setup of Luke's apotheosis. The idea is planted, but Luke rejects it.
No.
When we cut back to Han and Leia, they're being led out of the bunker to face the Emperor's Legion. The refusal of the return doesn't last long, though. R2 and 3PO draw the Imperials into a trap that kicks off their magic flight. But Luke doesn't know that his friends are back in the fight, and the Emperor hits him with one last dose of atonement with the Father.
Now witness the firepower of this fully armed and operational battle station.
And boom. This is the knockout punch. Then he goes right back to offering Luke another way forward, the dark apotheosis.
Take your weapon. Strike me down with all of your hatred, and your journey towards the dark side will be complete.
You can see Luke not so much decide, but realize, I am going to kill this man. And here comes Luke's play for the ultimate boon, the dark boon. While all of this is going on, the magic flight on Endor reaches its climax. Han and Leia are cornered by stormtroopers, and Han finally tells Leia,
I love you.
I know.
Hands up!
Their rescue from without begins when she caps 2 stormtroopers. Then it's thrown into doubt by the arrival of the AT-ST, and it reaches its climax when Chewbacca pops out of the hatch. Luke's boon stage picks up in the middle of his duel with Vader. Luke has embraced his dark side and is fighting with all the strength that gives him. But the Emperor interrupts his enemy while he's making a mistake.
Use your aggressive feelings, boy.
Which snaps Luke out of his rage. This triggers his refusal of the return.
I will not fight you, Father.
He comes to his senses and remembers that there's something problematic about the boon he's chosen, and tries to steer the ship away from the iceberg. Vader forces Luke to defend himself, but he's regained his composure and spends the next phase of the duel trying to get back to his original goal of flipping Vader.
Your thoughts betray you, Father. I feel the good in you. The conflict.
The problem is that fear and anger is still lurking inside him, unresolved. Vader keeps the pressure on until he finds a weak point.
So, you have a twin sister. If you will not turn to the dark side, then perhaps she will.
This is the magic flight. Not just because it's Luke Skywalker versus Darth Vader. It's the final conflict between the light side and the dark side, inside Luke. And right now, the dark side is pouring out. This, by the way, is where the movie-level journey falls back into sync with the trilogy-level journey. The duel is over, and the Emperor thinks he has it in the bag. He goads Luke to finish the job, but that's when the rescue from without begins.
Now, fulfill your destiny and take your father's place at my side.
Luke realizes that he's lost a piece of his humanity and has a lot more he could still lose. He chooses the right path, throws away his means of material support, and trusts his fate to a higher power.
I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
That's the setup.
So be it, Jedi.
Han and Leia's rescue from without resolves when they destroy the shield generator, giving Lando and the Rebel fleet their chance to destroy the Death Star.
Red group, gold group, all fighters follow me. I told you they'd do it.
Back on the Death Star, Luke's rescue stage enters the conflict phase. And just when all seems lost, Vader does the right thing. The rescue from without is complete. The next time we see Luke, he's dragging Vader through a hangar, looking for a way off the Death Star, trying to cross the return threshold. But Vader is too weak to make the journey back. Before dying, he reassures Luke that he won't go back to the ordinary world empty-handed.
Tell your sister you were right.
Then, the Death Star's reactor is destroyed and Luke escapes the hangar with no time to spare. Lando crosses the return threshold just moments behind him. Back on Endor, we get one of my all-time favorite Master of the Two Worlds moments. Luke has successfully returned to the ordinary world with Anakin Skywalker's body, still trapped in Darth Vader's armor. As he cremates the body, the camera follows the flames into the sky where X-Wing fighters race by, dropping fireworks in their wake. It's not just a visual segue from a bittersweet funeral scene to the upbeat celebration. This is the boon that Luke has brought back to the world. He's liberated all that was good in his father and released that light into the heavens, where it rains back down to the benefit of everyone in the ordinary world. Luke rejoins his friends at the Ewok village. Luke has become a Jedi and the Empire has been defeated. Both Luke and Anakin get their freedom to live. With the spirit of the good father watching over them, Leia leads Luke back to the party, where the trilogy ends with one last family portrait. So that's Return of the Jedi. Whatever its flaws, it really sticks the landing. I've been a Star Wars fan all my life, and I've known about its direct link to Joseph Campbell and the hero's journey for decades. But doing these breakdowns has still taught me a lot about how the hero's journey works and just how good these movies are. And those are my two main goals for this channel: to help people get even more out of the stories they already love, and to see how the 17 stages of the hero's journey can help us navigate through our own lives. If you got something out of this video, I hope you'll like, share, comment, and subscribe. This was the 17 stages of story in Return of the Jedi. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.